One ordinary afternoon in 1780, the sky above London suddenly turned completely dark, not dim, not cloudy, but pitch black. According to historical reports archived on Wikipedia and early notes preserved by the British Library, people couldn't see their own hands in front of their faces. Shops closed. Church bells rang. Some believed it was the end of the world, but just as mysteriously as the darkness came, it vanished. The event became known as the Great Dark Day, and to this day, historians can't fully explain it. At around 2 p.m., Londoners described a seal of darkness rolling over the city like a wave. Street lamps were lit, horses panicked. Witnesses wrote in journals, many of which are still referenced by the Royal Society, that the air felt heavy, almost electric. And here's the strangest part. No major storm was recorded that day. No eclipse, no volcanic eruption, just darkness. Across Europe, letters and diaries described the same phenomenon, an afternoon swallowed by night. Modern historians suggest that massive forest fires in Canada may have sent smoke drifting across the Atlantic. But according to History.com, those fires were too far away and too small to completely darken the skies of an entire city the size of London. Others believe that a volcanic eruption elsewhere in the world could have thrown ash into the atmosphere, but USGS records show no eruption significant enough to match the timeline. So what happened? If you were living in 1780 and the sky suddenly turned black in the middle of the day, what would you think it was? Tell me your theory. I actually read every comment. Because the deeper you go into this event, the more the evidence loops back to the part almost everyone overlooks. Surprisingly, one of the most credible clues doesn't come from Europe at all. According to an analysis published in the New York Times and summarized on Wikipedia, a layer of tree rings in northern New England showed signs of an extreme fire occurring the very same year, 1780. Scientists believe a massive wildfire may have produced thick smoke that rose high into the atmosphere, traveled across the ocean, and blocked sunlight. But here's the twist. Satellite models show that smoke alone can't produce total blackout conditions in a city as large as London. For that to happen, something else must have contributed. And that's where the mystery deepens. Some researchers have proposed that a rare atmospheric event, a combination of smoke, fog, and cloud inversion, created a dense, light-absorbing layer suspended over the city. In fact, a study published in the Quarterly Journal of the Royal Meteorological Society found that certain atmospheric conditions can amplify smoke density by up to 500%. Other historians suggest an astronomical connection, maybe a high-altitude meteor dust cloud passing through Earth's upper atmosphere. But no historical records mention anything unusual in the skies before or after the event. The most intriguing theory comes from environmental scientists who discovered unusual chemical particles in preserved ice cores from around that year. These particles are similar to those produced by giant wildfires, but not the kind that occur naturally. Meaning, something massive may have burned in 1780, something big enough to cast a shadow across an ocean. The Great London Dark Day remains one of the strangest atmospheric events in European history. No confirmed cause, no single explanation, just a moment when millions watched daylight collapse into darkness. These forgotten mysteries are exactly what we explore on Hidden Chapters, events that force us to rethink how fragile our world really is. So if you're ready for the next chapter, subscribe and join the series. Not to boost numbers, but because you belong to the small group of people who don't just watch history, they investigate it. And trust me, the next story is even more unsettling.